Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Starting 11 here on the Let's Get Ready Network. I'm Adelia, that's my buddy Snark, and we're here to talk about a lot of games because a lot of games have happened since the last time we had an episode. Snark, how
16.
you doing today?
16 goddamn games in 1 week. Two full match weeks. 1 week.
Yep.
I'm fine. I'm doing all right. Busy. It's a goddamn. That was a busy week. It was a busy week for football. Busy bunch of stuff happening off the field, on the pitch. There's almost murder, but if you read Liverpool news, there was almost a murder at halftime. Um, at Anfield. Uh, the again, the PGMOL has to issue yet another apology. We'll talk about all that stuff in this episode.
Absolutely. So let's get started. You want to start with the midweek games?
You know what? We'll talk about it real quick because it seems so long ago. But Leeds gets a win. They beat Forest. Uh, just Forest being their own worst enemy again, and Keeler Nevis uh, with a brutal rebound to give up the Jack Harrison goal, and then Sinestro just goes right by Nico Williams. Like poor defending. Like you guys, they have players. Like Forrest has players that can attack well that I like, uh, but just defensively, they're all over the place. And Neves
Yeah.
is just not an answer in net right now. He looked good when he first came over from PSG, but they need their goalie back. Toot sweet. Bournemouth lose to Brighton. The aforementioned Brighton, they just take care of business. Uh, Evan Ferguson's goal, that little left-footed little flick from behind. Oh my God, beautiful to look at. And say so extra time with a goal. Um, yeah, I really like that Ferguson goal. We're going to talk about Villa. Aston Villa beating
Yep.
Leicester. And it's Ollie Watkins again.
Ollie Watkins cannot stop scoring.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Um, and then that Dewsbury Hall gets sent off. 2 yellows in 6 minutes. Come on, buddy.
That's
Uh,
never good.
that's not good. It's Traore gets the winner from well outside the box. But I was kind of rushing those so I could talk about Bruno's only match in charge of the good ship Chelsea FC. And, you know, why sack Graham Potter? Why sack Graham Potter if you're going to put out a bald Graham Potter? That's all he changed. They changed nothing. He didn't change the
Yeah.
shape. He didn't change any players. This is your first, probably your only time you're ever going to get a starting 11 of your own in the Premier League, Bruno. Uh, why not try something? Try anything. The it's just the same shape, same people going up and down, the same people missing chances. Kai Havertz, bit unlucky. One goes off of his hand, even though it looks like in his body. But if it's lower down and stuff like that, it's a clear. That's the rule. It's a handball. You don't complain about that. Uh, Enzo or Reese James looks like he scores, but in the lead up, it looks like Enzo Fernandez's knee of all things is offside. Not his feet. He was leaning ahead. Just his knee. That's what it's come down to now. This is what
I hate
VAR
it.
is. Yeah,
I hate it.
it's awful. Um, and then just missed opportunities. Like Liverpool didn't come to play. Liverpool put up no fight. They just wanted to, you know, put in 90 minutes and get a paycheck afterwards, and they were fine with that. This is a match that should have been won. That there should have been 3 points for Chelsea here, an easy 3 points, and just it was squandered. So they would keep showing uh, pictures of Frankie Lampard in the stands, like in the owner's booth or whatever. Just his first time back at Chelsea as a fan, supposedly. The next day, find out he has been hired on an interim basis, interim only supposedly, uh, to shepherd Chelsea through the end of the year. I'm all for it. The match we'll talk about later, notwithstanding, I'm still all for it. You got to get someone who actually knows Chelsea football in there. Uh, I'll talk about what things that annoyed me when we talk about the Wolverhampton match. The yeah, like when you don't Chelsea, say what you will and about the season they've had. It's one of the biggest clubs in the world. You don't get your first ever starting 11 at Chelsea. At Chelsea Football Club? What? Anyways,
Yeah.
you bring in a guy, uh, a guy who scored more goals as a midfielder than any other player in the league's history. You'd think he would show them how to be aggressive, how to score goals, where to score goals from. Not only that, what it means to wear the badge over your heart that says Chelsea Football Club. Um, we'll talk about the Wolverhampton match after. A couple more midweek matches. Man U being Brentford. Uh, Pretty important win for United.
Yep.
Marcus Rashford finally back on score sheet. It feels like forever since they scored. I think it was 3 games or something like that since they had scored. But uh, with all the stuff they've had to do and stuff like that goes back to the middle of February. They have not played much Manchester United over the last month or
That's
so.
very true. That's very true.
Uh, yeah, and something that warmed my heart, my dastardly cold and dark heart. Newcastle walks into London Stadium and hammers the Hammers 5-1. Uh, I'd love to see a West Ham fan upset. I'm sure there was 40 something thousand there that were quite upset. The only goal they got was scored by a man whose name I will not mention on this program. He is human garbage. But yeah, a pitiful showing by West Ham. It's always nice to see. It's nice to see.
I am amazed that David Moyes still has his job.
I say this every week. I have it written down in the notes too. It's like David Moyes still has a job. David Moyes still has a job. Every week we say, how does he have a job? It's
Yeah, it makes no sense.
unbelievable. I'm surprised he hasn't forced his way out. He could probably go somewhere else. There's these other clubs or whatever that are circling the drains too. I guess what's West Ham in now? 13th, 14th, something like that.
West Ham is in 14th, but they're
Yeah, so
only 3 points ahead
yeah.
of 18th.
Yeah, so they're middling. You know, Crystal Palace makes the move. It seems to work out for them. Wolverhampton's made a move. Seems to have worked out for them. Leeds
Yeah.
United. Yeah, Everton has looked better with Sandesh, but they're still right there too. But
Yep.
yeah, like drop. You could find a spot. There's a spot coming. You could go to Leicester if you want. You know, the Championship League is a fine league. It's not for
Yeah.
Jesse Marsh. I guess Jesse
No.
Marsh is too good for it. Looked like it was all wrapped up going to Leicester, and then all of a sudden he's too good for Leicester. It's like, buddy, there isn't going to be too many people knocking on your door. I don't know what you're doing unless you think you can go to America or something like that. No idea. No
Yeah.
idea why he would pass up that job,
Yep.
especially the piss poor job he did in Leeds. But whatever.
That yeah, that's the midweek games. Before we get
Yes.
into this weekend's games, here's Justin with a little word about the channel.
Hey guys, it's Justin, aka Hambone, just here to let you know a couple of things that we have going on with the channel. One, we have a Patreon. If you can and want to support us, you can do that. As little as $1. You can join the Discord. We also have a merch store where you can get some cool shirts, mugs, and stuff with all of our different shows and labels on there. And thank you for all of our supporters that have already been there with us.
He seems like a nice fella.
He does.
Hmm.
We had a full slate of games on the weekend. I think all 20 teams played.
Hmm.
And Saturday was a busy day. So where do you want to start?
Let's just start with United again. We had just talked about Sam Dyson. Uh, he did not fare well. Uh, Eric Ten Hag
No.
has his guys playing an absolute domination. The score was only 2-0, but I wrote down some of the numbers. Like United was 64% possession. They had twice as many passes. How do you have twice as many passes as a team in this league? And Everton only managed the one shot on net, which was, not tricky at all. It was an utter domination. And they got goals by guys that you don't see on the score sheet for them much anymore, too. Scott McTominay and Anthony Marshall. So yeah, a big win for United. That fight for that third spot between United and Newcastle will be an interesting watch over the last, what do we got now? Um, 10 games or
8 weeks left,
so.
I think.
Yeah, eight.
Nine,
Eight.
8 or 9 games, depending on
Oh right, yeah,
how
summer
many you've
29.
played.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh. Uh, here's another heart warmer for you. Uh, you hate you hate both these teams. Well, I hate both these teams. I don't want to put words in your mouth. I frigging hate both these teams, but Fulham and West Ham played.
Yeah.
The Hammers, after getting slapped around in their own house, 5-1, going to Fulham, and it's an own goal by Harrison Reed. The only difference, there's one goal and own goal,
Yeah.
and Fulham lose at Craven's Cottage.
Fulham has
Fulham,
lost 5 games in a row in all competitions.
they have not. Yeah, what was their last win? I'm trying to remember.
I'm not sure what their last one was, but
Probably
Marco
against
Silva was
Chelsea.
serving the first of his
Chelsea.
2-game suspension.
Hmm.
Mitrovic has an 8-game
We haven't even
suspension.
talked about that. Yeah, 8 games. Um, I think on the show we were thinking, hoping for 10, hoping for the season. This will be,
I mean, it's
it's fine.
basically the season.
Yeah, it's fine. I would have liked to have seen more of the hammer come down. This is probably something that was reached between the Premier League and the union for the players and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
something that had to work out. Uh, there was no way it was going to be a slap on the wrist. This certainly is not. 8 games is an incredible amount of games, an incredible amount of money this guy has to forfeit for losing his temper and acting like a child. You act like a child, and that's what happens.
Yep.
Um, good for the league to put their foot down. Um, Mitrovic, like I said, I like him as a player. I like his aggression on the pitch. Like if he can stay focused where the aggression needs to be, he'd be a hell of a player. And
Yeah.
you just got to get that mindset out of your head. You cannot touch an official. Also, it can't be the other way around. Also, let's make this
No,
clear.
cannot be
It
the
can't
other
be
way
the other.
around either. We'll get to
Yeah.
that.
Let's go to another big match. Brentford and Newcastle. Newcastle pulls this one out 2-1. But that first half, this
It was
is
really entertaining.
it's the Ivan Tony show. Like Brentford dominated the first half, but poor Ivan Tony. So he has one goal called off for offside.
Yeah.
Then Sven Botman absolutely levels Kevin Schade in the box. Level, like hockey style, levels this guy. So he
Yep.
gets a shot at a penalty kick in that weird one step kick or whatever. And I don't know if he forgot what he was doing or something like that, but he basically just pushed the ball towards the net.
Yeah, he just hit it straight at Nick Pope.
Yeah, Nick Pope was like, "Oh, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, that was nice of you." And then I don't know if you've seen replays where you see this actually connect, but just before the halftime, Alexander Isak, I never remember. It's
I think
Swedish.
Isak.
Yeah, kicks Rico Henry in the head in the box.
Yeah, that was not good.
I saw the one announcer saying it looks like he kicked him in the stomach. It's like, pretty sure that's his head. I'm pretty sure it's on top of his neck is his head, which it looks like it hit. I don't think it hit him very hard. May have just glanced, but you know, you can't kick players in the. You can kick Chelsea players in the head in the box. Don't worry about that. You can knock them out for the season with a major concussion, but
Yeah.
yeah, you
Yeah.
can't glance anything off the head. Anyways, so Ivan Tony gets his redemption chance. Make sure he nails it this time, no problem. I do like that one. I like that lead up. I like that one step thing. I think it should make goalies think, but yeah, I just don't know what happened in that first one. Yeah, but it's Newcastle in the second half. It's all Newcastle. Joe Linton. Uh, I don't know why they ruled that this is an own goal off David Raya. Who's just trying to make a save. It goes off him and in. It goes off his leg and in.
Yeah, I
Just trying
mean
to make a
it's
save. Like,
that doesn't seem to me like that should be an own goal. Like the Emi Martinez one against Arsenal, that was an own goal.
yeah.
But this to me is not an own goal.
No, it was ball. Yeah. But you know, too bad for Joe Linton. He's had pretty good season, but yeah,
Yeah.
they get the tying goal there, and then of course it's Alexander Isaac scoring the winner, who's been on fire the last few weeks. Uh,
Yep.
the Swedish guy kicking people in the head, kicking the ball in the net. What are you gonna do? Yeah, Eddie Howe's got his guys rolling again. I think that's the fifth win in a row for Newcastle. Another
Yeah.
team that just hot at the right time. Hot at the right time.
I have
A little
been
too
pretty
late, but
impressed with Newcastle for the majority of the year, and them getting the finish that high up the table, I think is well deserved for how they
yeah,
played this year.
it's basically almost guaranteed them uh, European football for the first time in I don't know how long.
Yeah.
Yeah, that race between United and Newcastle. Now, it's really just for optics to say that you'd finish third or fourth. I don't see Tottenham or anyone climbing up to get them. Tottenham
Uh,
has
New
looked terrible, but
Yeah, Newcastle's in third on 56 points. Man United in fourth on a goal difference. Newcastle heavily has the goal difference in their favor. They're plus 27. Man United is
yeah,
plus 7. And then
yeah,
Tottenham 3 points behind in fifth.
yeah. But also a game. They've played an extra game.
They've also
Um,
played an extra game, yeah.
yeah, and look terrible. They're Tottenham's awful,
They don't
guys. They're
look good.
awful.
They're
Yep,
terrible.
not good.
I have so
They keep
enjoyed
getting
this
home.
Tottenham season. I
Ugh,
have so enjoyed it.
yeah, ugh, I'd rather not ever have to see them. Oh, I can't wait for Harry Kane to go somewhere. I don't care
Oh,
where.
it's gonna. I am looking forward to him leaving. Yes.
All right. Well, we'll wait and see. Let's see what happens. They still don't. They're still a relative shift because if they think Stellini is the answer, they're bananas.
Yep.
Villa wins again. Before us is Traore off the bench again to score. That's two this week that he's done it. Another guy, Emery. Did you see this? You should know Unai Emery.
I
Uh,
know Unai Emery.
yeah. Did you when he gets appointed? Did you see them playing this well? A Villa side that really had nothing.
No, no, but I did see them improving over the way they were playing for Steven Gerrard, for sure.
Yes.
But I didn't see
Yeah.
him playing this well.
No.
But I mean, it
Uh,
helps when you have someone like Ollie Watkins catching fire and scoring all those goals.
Impressive. They've been impressive. I hate to say it. I'm not a fan. I think I say that a lot. Uh, and another match, Leicester lost to Bournemouth. Who cares? Philip Billing
Yeah,
scored. One of my favorite names to say, Phil Billing, Philly Billing. Then we'll talk about the Chelsea match. Like Frankie comes in and is still married to his Everton and former Chelsea 4-3-3 style. That setup has proven to not work with this lineup. Uh, Potter tried it. Uh, Tuchel flirted with it every once in a while before. It doesn't work. It can't work for us. We don't have a striker.
yeah,
And Kai Havertz. Have you seen a player that timid, so afraid to go and work for goals, standing around waiting, have everybody else work? You know, you're you're he's put in a bad spot where you have to play him forward, which he shouldn't be. He should be playing further back. He should be coming from the back. But then you have your wings at the back, like, and you don't even start Chilwell. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
Like Mudrik's not playing. Like I was like I was of course I was hoping for a 3-4-3 style of 3-4-2-1 even. If you want to put Felix or whatever out up front, you drop Havertz. How do you bring on Pulisic and Alba? Like,
I
I
was
don't know.
very surprised Oba even made the bench, let alone actually came on in the game.
Raheem Sterling should never start again for Chelsea. I just don't get it. Like, if you need him in flashes, if you need a goal in 15 minutes, something's not working, you can put him on. With Alba, hasn't played since what, November? Or has it, or he's played once since November?
It's been a
Yeah,
long time.
it just doesn't work. And yeah, you keep wondering, like there's all like there's again, it might be a thing of just too many toys. There's 32 players at Chelsea right now. It's an insane amount of players there. Way too many, and of course it's all going to get
Yeah.
knocked down in summer and stuff. Like people talking about financial fair play. It's like, guys, they're gonna, like, how big do you think this squad's gonna be come the summer? It's gonna be a fire sale. I was wondering if Mason Mount would play because he played so well under Lance before. Supposedly he's nicked up, so you have to take their word for it. Because I would imagine he would have come in at some point. Would have liked to have seen him, but I also would have liked to have seen Reece James forward. Like, yeah, I, I'm hoping that it was a matter of he had two practices. He had two practices with those guys. And that's it. Uh, the goal by Nunez was pretty remarkable. It was you know a remarkable strike to beat Chelsea, who still can't score. But they only give up one goal. They're like, defensively, it's not so bad. Like, defensively, we're okay. It's just we can't score, and that's what it's so frustrating when you have all this talent. You see all these players who should be able to put the ball in the net with regularity, not being able to. Felix didn't, like, that was his worst game in a Chelsea shirt. Mudrik comes in late, which is too bad, because he shows speed. He showed stuff that other guys weren't showing. But you also have to try and get the ball to him. You have Mark Cucurella out there. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Not having Chile started, like, you see Ben Chilwell come on and he's like, okay, I'll just take the ball. Like, you just see how he can work. Hopefully, this Lamps is gonna get, like, go back now. He'll be able to go through the tapes and stuff like that. You can go and see what works, what's not working. Um, of course, I'm gonna give Lampard a pass. One of my favorite goddamn players of all time. I absolutely love the man. So I've heard some people really harp on him and stuff like that. I won't do it. I wish for better, especially against a team like Wolverhampton. Like, we're losing to Wolverhampton. Like, we lost to the Saints twice. Just odd losses. It's a bizarre season. This season won't happen again. So anybody who
Yeah.
dislikes Chelsea, enjoy it. You guys, enjoy it, because the reckoning is going to come. But
Yeah.
who's going to run them? And there's more names coming up now, and there's, like, all these retread names. Like, not only Carlo Ancelotti, who would I like to see run Chelsea again? Maybe. Uh, like, he was good. He was good. Gets fired in the goddamn dugout after a game. Like, I think he was in fourth place or something like that. Yeah. The former owner had a bit of a quick temper when it came to managers. Got rid of them, no problem. Of course, never got rid of
Yep.
two in a season. Um, but now they're also saying they're gonna talk to Antonio Conte. What?
Yeah, I
What?
saw that too. Well, I don't know why anyone in England would hire Antonio Conte again.
It's bananas. It's bananas. Uh, yeah, I don't get it. For me, it's still I'd like to see Enrique. You know, I just think a guy we need, and a guy with an ego big enough to handle the egos in that room. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I think the inmates are running the asylum a little bit. I'm pretty sure that's why they brought Lamps back. It's like no matter what you guys have done, you've never done as much as me. Especially wearing that goddamn shirt. Maybe instill some pride. Uh, if they uh, if they go with Nagelsmann, uh, which is probably what's going to happen now that they've hired Lamps to manage through to the end of the year. Like the big rumor was Nagelsmann wanted to take the rest of the year, make Bayern pay him for the year. I'm fine with that. It was like, what are you going to come do?
Yeah.
You're not going to turn around the ship in a week and help us beat Madrid twice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm fine with him taking over at the end of the year. As if we can move Lampard's up into the offices or something like that afterwards, like when it comes to being a Premier League manager, is anybody searching for Frank Lampard again? Probably not.
I don't think so.
Yeah, so I think he'd be happy in the office. Something to do with Chelsea. John, you know what John Terry's doing right now? He's the director of the women's team. So John Terry is there. He isn't managing or anything like that. He's part doing stuff for the women who are doing wonderfully. Again, I was
Yeah, the women are doing
if
well this year.
if Emma Hayes was offered that job to steward the men's team for the rest of the year, I think it's a missed opportunity they could have had. I think she's that talented as a manager. I would have loved to have seen it, but you know, I can't complain about Lamps. I can't. It still makes me happy just to see his face. So, uh, anyways, yeah, big match on Wednesday in Madrid. We beat them there. Frank knows what it's like to beat Madrid at the Bernabeu. So, come on, Chelsea. God damn it. City win. No
Yeah,
problem.
City won.
4-1.
Yeah.
Holland 2, including a
Yep.
bicycle kick. Like, come on. Fucking show off. 30 goals. 30 goals and 9 games to play. All
Yeah.
right.
And I think it's 40 in all competitions or over 40 in all competitions.
Yeah. Uh,
It's crazy how many goals he's scored this year.
yeah. He's been okay. He's been all
Yeah,
right.
just a little.
He's
He's
taken
had
a couple of days
patches as
off.
well where he hasn't played well.
Yeah. That's just how bonkers this is. That's how bonkers this is. And really heaping the pressure on Arsenal with that win.
Yeah, we'll get to
Arsenal,
that.
Arsenal needs to get 3 points at the end of the week. Here. Let's go to the match. One of the matches. The match. Is this the match? Probably the match that uh, drove me the most nuts. It's always something to do with rest. It's going to drive me nuts. But we'll talk
Yeah.
how Spurs beat Brighton. Spurs utterly dominated again. 2 good chances, and you know they made good with them. Uh, Son's goal was amazing. That
It was
curling
a
strike
good
from
goal.
outside the box. Ooh,
It was a really good
I,
goal.
I love that shit. Of course, the dummy Harry Kane scores. Oh yeah, the Son goal, his 100th of his career.
100th Premier League goal.
Yeah, sorry. Well, yeah, I'm only thinking of the league. 100th Premier
Yeah.
League goal. Now it's Stuart Atwell.
I think he's the first Asian player to hit 100 Premier League goals as well.
Oh, I would imagine. Yeah, well, good for yeah. Again, on a player who on any other team I'd probably like,
Yeah.
but as he's a
Same.
spud, forget it. Yeah, it was Stuart Atwell refereeing the game. It was Michael Salisbury running VAR.
Oh boy.
Okay. Okay. Where should we start?
Should we
Let's
start
start.
with Brighton's first disallowed goal?
Well, even before that, Perisic is blocking off. It may have even been Lewis Dunk blocking off. The ball comes and he pushes it in the box. Pushes the ball with his hand. There's no call. No call. This is in the first 2 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
It just kind of sets the tone. Let's go to Matoma. Matoma's first incident.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I brought a ball down. Okay. We'll use Spiky over here. So Matoma plays the ball down. Ball comes to him in the box. He plays the ball down here. All right.
Yeah.
Handball, as a rule, is usually anything under where your shirt sleeve is. Right.
Mm-hmm.
If you use that ball to bring it down, if you use any part of this to bring the ball down to your boot and put it in, they consider it handball. This was his chest, and then shoulder.
Yeah, it was definitely chest and then shoulder. It
He,
was not his arm.
right. It's the assistant referee that calls this. The
Yeah.
guy furthest away. The guy
Yeah.
on the touchline. So you see him shaking, like that replay. You see him just shaking with his flag on, and the guy saying, "I don't think he's calling that offside. I'm pretty sure he's calling that handball."
Well, yeah, because you can see the assistant referee like rubbing
Yeah,
his
it's
shoulder. He's rubbing his shoulder for one
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Like, that's not a handball.
VAR confirms the call.
Of course
There's
they do.
no, they all their whole thing is there's no hard error made or whatever. There's no. Yeah, it's like what?
Clear and obvious error.
Fair and clear and obvious error. Yes, there is. There
There's
absolutely
very
is.
much a clear and obvious error.
It took them 2 minutes to come up with that. Uh, Unbelievable. Before the match, does of course it's two Italian managers, right? So a little bit of fire in
Yeah.
these guys. Stellini and De Zerbi yapping at each other.
Yeah.
And after all this, I don't know how it starts. It looks like it starts from the Tottenham end, and all the assistants coming over to yell shit at De Zerbi. I don't know if De Zerbi's been saying shit to them from the touchline, whatever. They're starting to all come. Stellini just standing like this at the touchline, looking forward, not trying to do anything, not helping, not doing
Yeah.
anything. De Zerbi right in there. Players start coming in. You start seeing Richarlison and stuff like that. For example, off the from the stands or whatever. He's in there. Some of the Brighton subs. Referee comes over, red cards both of them. Correctly, red cards both of them. You red card Stellini because he just fucking stood there and did nothing. You get your goddamn guys to their goddamn bench. Be a man. Be a
Yeah.
man.
I mean, even if he's not involved in the incident, he should be helping to get his guys out of the incident.
Yes.
That to me was more of a red card for not controlling his staff than it was for anything he necessarily did.
It's 100% what it was. You have to control your staff. You have to control your players. He does everything ran well, and it's like he was like letting him do it. It's like
Yeah,
if I
he was
just look
just standing
forward,
there.
they'll let me get away with it.
Yeah, and then he looked shocked when he got a red card. Like,
Unbelievable.
no.
What an asshole. I have more to say. I have more to say about what he said after the game, but
Oh, I
let's
didn't hear
go.
what he said after the game, so looking forward to that.
It's okay. So let's go to the next handball. Is it? I can't remember who took the shot, but it goes off of someone, and it looks like it could have went off his hip, but it also could have been his hand.
I think it went
Where
off
came, I think,
McAllister.
yeah. It went off of Alexis McAllister. Uh, I think it did go off his hand. I think it may have gone off his hip at some point, but his hand's right here. If it touches his hand and goes in, I don't have a problem with that one. That one is
Yeah, I had
close.
less of
It's
a
tight.
problem with that
Yeah,
one.
it's tight. Here's where the problems come. Uh, Matoma is in the box, and he gets stepped on. And this is not a little bit. He gets stepped on, like almost targeted, stepped on by Holbert in front of the referee. This isn't like off of the play or whatever. Referee has a clear view. He's let this go. VAR again allows play to continue. They do not recommend to look at this thing. as a person that, or as a fan who's had this happen to Chelsea twice this year, where things have should have been called with penalties like that in the box. Uh, I was livid for the Brighton guys, especially as they had dominated play and they were down. Um, Now, the PGMOL, in their wisdom, has once again offered an apology, a written apology to Brighton and Hove Albion
I
for
want to
yet
know how many
another.
apologies they've sent Brighton alone this year.
It's at least two. It's
I
at
think it's
least two.
3 at this point.
Yeah. It's unbelievable. I'm going back to what Stellini. Uh, in the press conference afterwards, he was talking about how uh, Tottenham had never gotten any calls from VAR this season, and that they they respected all the results, and therefore you should respect this result. I said, what did you say, motherfucker? Do you not remember Thomas Tuchel was going to beat the shit out of your old boss? Do you remember
Yeah.
that game? Do you remember Cucurella getting pulled down by the hair in the box and you guys got another penalty kick or another corner kick out of it? Do you remember all that shit that led up to the first goal you guys got? Do you not remember any of this stuff? VAR helps you out all the time. This is how you've
Yeah.
gotten this far. All you guys have done is get help. You are helped at every single level. I don't know why. Who cares about goddamn Tottenham Hotspurs? Obviously, the Premier League, for some stupid reason, is because you guys signed that agreement with the NFL to host goddamn NFL games at your shithole that nobody even wants to sponsor. Unbelievable. To say that you've had no help from the referees this year, out of your mind. Out of your mind.
That's absurd.
Uh, Horseshit. Yeah, no, I feel bad. I feel bad for Brighton. They should be in a much better spot than they are. Seventh spot. Oh gosh. Well, it's going to be tough for them now. Dropping those
Yeah.
3 points. They should have won that match. Tottenham should have lost. They could have
There,
been 1 point out. They could have been 1 point out with 2 games in hand on
yeah,
Tottenham. As it is,
it's
7 points.
still possible, I
Yeah, it's
think, that they
possible.
can make it into a European place. They're only a point behind Aston Villa with 2 games in hand.
Hmm.
And I think either Man City or Man United's winning the FA Cup. So, and if for some reason Brighton, who I believe is still in the FA Cup, wins the FA Cup, they'll get a Europa League place out of it. So they could still end up with European football, but I don't think they're getting any
Yeah.
higher than 6th.
It's no longer in their hands. They're gonna need. It's gonna
Yeah.
start needing help, and people are gonna have to drop points, and they shouldn't have had to happen. Shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
And yeah, and what's an apology gonna do? What's an apology? What does an apology do? You know what I mean? You
Nothing.
don't get
It does
points.
nothing.
It
No.
does nothing. It does nothing. What needs to happen is that I remember for a while Canada wasn't doing very well at hockey, so they had a summit and they brought in everybody from all levels and all occupations of hockey. They had a summit about what's going wrong with Canadian hockey. And I think Wayne Gretzky was even like the head of it or something like that. He was right up there. They need to do something about the refereeing to start with. They need to get. They need to have a summit about why the Premier League is the best football league on earth, and there it should be no question the most talent, most competitive squads. Um, why are why do they have the worst referee?
Yeah.
They they started the whole VAR push. They needed to have VAR. VAR, you're supposed to have minimal input, absolutely minimal input. It is now maximum input. Like referees aren't making calls because they know VAR will back them up. Why have VAR? It's you're just employing 4 other guys who won't do their job. 4 other
Yeah.
guys that are afraid to do their job, and then you're allowing guys on the pitch not to do their job. You, you know, it's yeah. it's an incredibly frustrating thing. It's never happening. They're never getting rid of VAR.
No, they're
They
not.
spend so much money on it.
They need to
Anyways,
fix it though.
they have to do
I don't know
something.
how they're going to do it, but they need to fix it before next season because there have been too many cases of the PGMOL apologizing to teams this year because somebody didn't draw the lines or didn't take enough time or didn't
That's
step in
bananas.
or whatever. And like
There's
that's the
4 of them
sole
in that booth.
job of
There's
VAR.
there's 4 of them in that booth. There's 4 of them. They don't do anything. They don't even have to run. All they have to do is where's this? Where's this? That's all they have to do.
Yep.
They're paid well. They're paid well. It's not like they're
It,
collecting cans.
it's either we're drawing the lines so somebody's offside by a toenail and we're disallowing a goal, or we're not drawing the lines at all and allowing a clearly offside goal to stand, or we're not even looking at penalties the way we should. Like it's always something with VAR and it needs to change.
Yeah. I 100% agree. Terrible. It's terrible. Anyways, I could keep going on about the goddamn refs. There's 2 more matches. One important match, but we'll get to that one next. Crystal Palace and another visiting team puts 5 on a home team. Beat the
Crystal
hell out of
Palace
Leeds.
destroyed Leeds.
Yeah. Leeds scored first, if you don't remember.
Yep.
It was, Patrick Bamford scored.
Was it not like 1-0 or 1-1 at halftime and then Crystal Palace just went nuts?
The first 20 minutes, it was all Leeds. The first 20 minutes,
Yeah.
Leeds was all over the place. And then they just decided, oh, we've done enough. 20 minutes is about 90. Yeah.
Crystal Palace, who could not score a goal for Patrick Vieira, puts 5 up with Roy Hodgson. I don't understand that.
And Zaha wasn't playing.
Yeah.
The guy who subbed in for him, Ayew, scored twice.
Yep.
Edward scored. Gui, Eze. Yeah, good for them. You know, I'm not a huge Crystal Palace guy. It's one of the one clubs I don't hate. I don't hate them. It's like could never be bothered with them. But yeah, five goals at Leeds. Ooh. All right, good for you. But now we'll talk about maybe a candidate for match of the year. A match of the year candidate.
It was a good match.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about? You want me to go through it a little bit, and then
yeah,
because I know this is it might be, I know it might be a little tough. It might be a little tough for you. The first 30 minutes was an incredible showing by Arsenal. I really liked Gabby Martinelli's goal.
Gabby Martinelli's goal. It was a lucky ricochet to him off Van Dijk, but I'll take it.
Sure. Hey, Jesus scores as well.
Jesus scored, which led to lots of very funny. Of course, Jesus is scoring on Easter jokes on Twitter.
He is risen, guys. He is risen again. Back from injury. Now, Salah will get one back.
Before Salah gets one back, we have the incident with Granit Xhaka and Trent Alexander-Arnold, which was much ado about nothing, but everybody made into a big deal because it was Granit Xhaka. And I was just like, he didn't really do anything. They just kind of squared up to each other. There was no like anything. They got a yellow card. Okay. Like that happens in so many matches throughout the season. But because it was Granit Xhaka, apparently that was all that needed to be talked about for a while, and it just drove me insane.
Bizarre. Yeah. It's not like I don't know if he has much of a history of starting shit. I never really hear much from Granit Xhaka as getting his names running around as a dirty player or anything like that.
He has not had that this year, but I mean, he was very prone to losing his temper and getting himself sent off in previous seasons.
Well, half comes to an end. Salah scores. Half comes to an end.
Was the penalty in the first half that Salah missed?
No, it was the second half, I believe.
Was it?
Yes, second half. So yeah, we'll talk about Jota in a bit. So Andrew Robertson goes up to talk to the assistant referee, Konstantin Hatzidakis. It looks like he tries to go and grab him again. Don't put your hands on officials.
Yeah, do not do that.
But if you're an assistant referee, if said player maybe tries to grab your shirt to talk to you, maybe don't elbow him in the throat.
Yeah, that was not good.
And then Robertson gets the yellow card. Yeah.
Yeah, Robertson got a yellow card. I remember seeing that all of the like Liverpool players like approaching. I don't remember who the name of the referee yesterday, but approaching him and just like going on about something, and I had no idea what had happened at that point. And then somebody got a yellow card, and then NBC went to halftime. And
Yeah,
I
it's
was like,
Paul
okay,
Tierney.
what was that
Paul
all about?
Tierney did it.
Paul Tierney,
Yeah.
that's right, Paul
Yeah.
Tierney. I was like, what on earth was that all about? And then this starts coming out that, oh yeah, the assistant linesman elbowed Andy Robertson in the face, the jawline, the throat
Yeah, it
area,
looked like it was like
something.
here.
Like, you
Like
can't do that.
no. So he has been pulled from future matches, any future matches
As
that
he
he was
should be.
been. Yes, until they actually go through. Now we're saying this, but the only pictures I've only seen pictures. I've seen pictures of his elbow up like this. It looks weird. It looks awkward. Like his elbow up like this almost.
Yeah.
So if it was like something like this, you say, okay, maybe you can't believe everything Robbie says. But his elbow's up like this in the
Yeah, his
pictures.
elbow is very high in the pictures.
Yeah, it's unnatural. It's an unnatural motion, as the referees like to use.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting. I haven't seen. I wonder if somebody's got to have video. There's got to be video somewhere.
Mhm.
Like there's all kinds of like fan filmed video of like the managers going at it in the Tottenham Brighton game that you
Yeah.
didn't see on the
Yeah, I
broadcast.
haven't
So
seen the video either. Every video that I came across had either been copyright claimed on Twitter and taken down or is geo-locked, so not my
yeah.
location.
Anyways, the truth will come out about that. I'm
Yeah,
sure
and
at
you
some
have to
point there's
think
going to be
that
somebody who says it.
you have to think that if they find that he did actually elbow Andy Robertson in the throat or whatever, that he is no longer going to be an assistant referee.
Well, yeah, he won't be on the pitch anyways. So I'm sure they won't fire him. I'm sure they'll just move him elsewhere. He'll put him up in the booth or
Oh,
something
goody!
like
They'll
that.
put him in VAR.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly
Oh no,
what we need.
yeah. Well, you know what? He can't do any worse.
Yeah,
He can't do
that
any damn worse. At least no one's gonna
that
get
is
hurt.
true.
Yeah, at
That
least
is
no one
true.
gets hurt. Yeah. So we're gonna go to the spot kick, and it's Diogo Jota flopping. I was wondering what you felt about this penalty, because I
I
thought
thought
it
it was
was
really soft.
extremely soft. It was incredibly soft.
The commentators on my feed were like, "Oh yeah, Rob Holding clips ankles with him, and he goes down," and I'm like, I don't see that.
Nope.
Like maybe they did touch, but like not enough to send Diego Jota flying the way he did.
I saw his hand go on his shoulder. No tug. I saw his hand go on his shoulder, like this, like you comfort somebody. Like that's what I saw. And of course, not an Arsenal fan, definitely not a Liverpool fan either. But I saw nothing. Jota flops, and of course, pointing right at
He's
the
always
spot
going to
right
get
away.
that in front of the
Yep,
cop.
yep. So here comes Mo Salah, and I guess the football gods are watching, and they say, "Enough, enough of this."
Yeah.
And just keep like he puts the ball, tries to keep it low, going towards the corner, and it just curls off,
Yep.
misses wide. It's like a big. It's almost like the hockey or the football guys push like little blow on the. It's like get out of here.
My favorite part about all of this is that so many people thought that it hit the back of the netting and bounced back out of the goal. So then the fans, they were celebrating, and Jurgen Klopp was not watching the penalty, and he turns around ready to celebrate, and then he realizes it didn't go in. Like,
he's a
that
4-year-old.
was my favorite part.
Yeah. No, not close.
No,
it wasn't
not close.
Oh my gosh.
It hit the post that helps hold up the goal netting behind it and bounced back, but
yeah,
it did not go in the net.
No, never.
Which I was very relieved at, because I don't
shirt
think
over
Aaron
it.
Ramsdale is very good at saving penalties.
Yeah, well,
Um,
tricked
they
him.
also said that Mo Salah generally goes down the middle with his penalties, and Aaron Ramsdale didn't really dive one way or the other, and they thought maybe it put Salah off. But
Well, yeah, he certainly didn't put it down the middle on this one, or if he did,
no,
oh yeah,
he that was badly missed. I was
The
very
thing,
happy about it.
the thing is, it's like that miss spurred Liverpool on.
The second
They
half was
were,
all Liverpool.
yeah,
It was
they
all
well,
Liverpool.
you guys had good chances though. Like
We had a few
Arsenal, yeah,
moments.
could break
We
out
had a few
and like
moments.
it looked like odd man rushes and stuff like that going up the pitch and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Good 2-man play, good 3-man play, just couldn't get that
yeah.
goal.
We did have a
And
few moments, and I saw a lot of people on Twitter were like criticizing Gabriel Martinelli for not finding Saka on one of those breakaway to seal the game, and I'm like, you
yeah,
can't do that. Like, no, that's not how
no,
that works.
no.
I thought the substitutions that Arteta made were not great. Um,
Everyone's always
I would have.
gonna think about that though. Like I do at
Yeah,
Chelsea all
but
the
like
time.
I
That's
don't
my biggest thing.
understand why you're taking your captain off at Anfield with like 10 minutes left when you're up a goal, but you've been really on the back foot for the whole half and putting on a guy making his second ever appearance for Arsenal.
Yeah, yeah. It's a
I
yeah,
understand that
it's
William
difficult.
Saliba's injury means that we don't have a guy like Rob Holding that we can bring off the bench because Rob Holding's starting right now.
Yep.
But that was not a good move for me. The Odegaard for Kivior substitution was not great. I also would have brought Tierney on maybe about 5-10 minutes before he actually came on
Yeah.
because he came on right after Zinchenko let Trent Alexander-Arnold get around him to find Firmino for the tying goal.
And that's just what Firmino does. He scores against Arsenal. He just
Robert
he's
Firmino has scored 11 goals in 15 games. I am so glad he's leaving Liverpool at the end of the season. I cannot tell you.
he hasn't said where he's going. He hasn't said like he's going back to Spain or
No,
anything. Like he
he
hasn't
has
said.
not announced where
Yeah.
he's going, but he is definitely leaving. He said he's leaving Liverpool at the end of the season.
Yes.
I will be
100%.
glad to see the back of him.
Yeah. No kidding.
I will say though that if you had offered me a point, a hard fought point before the game, I would have taken it. Because
Right.
we haven't won at Anfield since 2012 or something like that.
Mhm.
So
I
and
think
our
they've only
last
dropped
few
one match this year. There, I think they lost against Leeds or something like
they've
that.
lost like one match in their last like 35 or something at
Yeah.
Anfield in the Premier League.
Bananas.
So I will take a point, but in many ways it feels like we dropped 2 points because we were
We
up
did.
2-0, but it also feels like Aaron Ramsdale saved us a point in stoppage
He was
time with those
incredible.
saves.
Like I think that's
Oh
gonna
my god.
that gets lost, and how good he was, and like stopping
He
Nunez
was
there.
amazing in that
Yeah.
game. He was
Yeah.
amazing, and those two saves, the one on Nunez, the one on Kanate that I thought for sure
Yeah.
was going in the net, and he somehow kept out. He two world class saves in stoppage time to save the point, and like everybody that's saying, "Oh, the title race is back on," get out of here with that bullshit. It was never off. Like, I'm sorry, everybody had decided Arsenal was winning the title, and it's like that's not how this works.
No.
Like, there's still too much to play for, too many big games for both us and for City. Like, I've never once felt confident this season, even though we've basically been in the lead the entire season except for like 4 days, that we were
Right.
going to win. And I'm still not, because I lived through last year where we had a Champions League place and then just decided not to play the last like 5 games and then didn't have a Champions League place. So I'm not prepared to say that we're going to win the title. We might not. We probably won't. In fact, that's where I'm at. We probably won't. And it's going to kill me. But
You've already started to make it easier on yourself, just in
I
case.
have. I've already started to make it easier on myself.
Oh my gosh.
We need to get a result at the Etihad now. That's all it
You have
means.
to. Yep. Yeah. At least a point. You need at least a
Or
point.
if any of the teams that City has to play would like to do us a favor, I would take that as well.
I'd love for Chelsea to beat them. I know that's coming. I'd love to take care of business against
Is
them.
that game
It's
at
just
the
that history
Bridge or
shows
at
that
the
they're going to kick the
Etihad?
shit out of us. I believe it's at
Yeah.
the Etihad.
Yeah, see, The Etihad
Yeah.
is another place where we don't get great results, but I mean, like, we didn't beat them in the FA Cup earlier this year at the Etihad, but we played really, really well in that game. And I feel like if we come with a performance like that again, we can hopefully have a same result. Not a performance like we had at the Emirates, where we played a pretty good first half and then just didn't show up for the second half. We can't do that.
No. I'm pretty sure, yeah, they beat us 4-0 at the
Oh,
Etihad in
goody.
the FA Cup. Yeah, they hammered us. It was never close. So,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, and Holling
We
didn't even
only
play.
lost 1-0 to them in the FA Cup at the Etihad earlier this year. And that was with
You guys
Matt
can beat
Turner
them.
in goal.
And if there's anybody that can get into Pep Guardiola's head is Mikel Arteta. Like
Yeah.
you guys have a fighting
We
shot.
need
Like
Saliba back.
City has to win out, and you know how City is. City
Yeah.
always has a down game. They've been playing well the last few weeks. They've been playing really well. They've what is it? They've scored what is it? 15 goals or something like that, and given up 3. They're playing
Yeah.
really well, but they will drop points when you don't expect them. When they shouldn't drop
Yeah.
points, that's when City does it. So I
I
believe they
I
even have a
still
match
think
against
this is
Leeds
gonna
they could lose to. So
yeah,
like
I still
they
think this
just
is
play
gonna
weird.
come down I think this is gonna come down to the last day of the season where we have Wolves who may be relegated by that point, who knows, and they have Brentford, which to me those are two
Yeah.
very different teams to play against.
And
So
Brentford, let's see, Brentford still has eyes on European play. It's going to
the
take a lot. It's going to take a lot.
yeah, the last day of the season is the day before my birthday.
Oh boy.
I just don't want another birthday Arsenal related heartbreak because the day that Chelsea beat Arsenal in the Europa League final was also my birthday.
Hmm.
And I just don't want to, I don't want to have another Arsenal related heartbreak surrounding my birthday. But
Well, like I said, my birthday is Wednesday, and Chelsea is going to get hammered by Real Madrid for my birthday. So
yeah,
that'll make me cry. But whatever. Yeah, it's just what the season's been like. That April 26th match. Arsenal and City. Oh my gosh.
yeah, which I may
What a
now be
clash
able to
coming.
watch. I may
Ooh,
not be able to watch that match.
oh boy. You'd have to watch it. You'd watch it like this anyway. So
You know what I do when I am too nervous to watch a match is I listen to the radio broadcast on the Arsenal website.
oh,
That's what I do.
I like doing that. The problem, like I have a problem, like watching it. Like I get it through Fubo up here. Um, the the commentators are all very much against Chelsea winning. They are not fans of Chelsea. So I have to deal with a lot of shit. I would love to have Homer uh, commentary and stuff like that. I have
Yeah.
Sirius XM radio and stuff like that. Usually, sometimes I'll go and find the Chelsea match or whatever through them. So yeah, but I want to watch the game, not just listen to it. So I have to take the shit from everybody
Yeah.
and stuff like that. How everything is you know,
I have a
it's just
DVR now.
hard.
I've never had a DVR in my life until about a month ago.
Hmm.
But can set it to record the match, and then if I don't want to watch the match once the result has occurred, then I just won't. But I will watch it if we get a result at the Etihad.
Okay, so 16 matches in the books.
Yep,
Going
that was
back,
a lot.
I remember I did the show. I believe it was a solo show last week.
It was.
Some
Thank you
someone
for that,
said,
by the way.
"Oh no, don't worry about that." Well, I'm just saying that someone said that Arsenal was probably going to end up dropping points, and then I said
Mm-hmm.
they're probably going to drop points to Liverpool when I called a draw. So I was thinking of myself somewhat of a soothsayer, maybe a magician.
I got the
But yeah,
Chelsea Liverpool draw right, I think.
yeah, you got Chelsea, Liverpool, right? I went for Chelsea in my foolishness. Um, I did win the week 9-6. We had really good first half of the matches, and then after the second half or whatever, really went down until to the Sunday games. Yeah, like you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You had 7 points in the first 7 games, so you were doing pretty good, and then the goddamn rest of Saturday, and then the Sunday games did you in. Now,
Yeah.
regular slate. a regular slate of matches coming up. First off, Aston Villa, a resurgent Aston Villa. Ooh, this could be a good match. This might be match of the week caliber. Aston Villa versus Newcastle.
I'm gonna go for Newcastle. I think they have a lot
Okay.
to play for right now, more than Villa does.
They've been in form for sure, and they're getting goals from everywhere. Do I want to say Villa? Is it time for Villa to have a letdown? I think it might be. I'm gonna go for that as well. A match. I don't know if next match. I don't know if I'm looking forward to now or not. Uh, Chelsea versus Brighton. Got the
Brighton will be
bridge.
managerless.
Yeah,
Deserby
no
won't be there.
Deserby. No Deserby.
I'm still gonna go Brighton though. I do not trust Chelsea.
Yeah, I'm gonna say draw, just because, as you know, I cannot say Chelsea will lose.
Hmm.
Hurts too much. Um, this one might be an interesting match. Everton and Fulham. This is in the Merseyside.
I'm gonna go with Everton at home. Fulham are not good without Mitrovic.
Yeah,
No one is there to score the goals, and they are on a serious downward slide.
yeah. I am going to see. I want to say draw, but I think you're right. I'm going to go with Everton as well. Uh, Southampton versus a resurgent Crystal Palace.
I'm gonna go Palace.
Palace on the road. Yeah, the Saints can beat the shit out of Chelsea, but they have problems with everybody else. I'm gonna say Palace as well. Ugh, Spurs and Bournemouth.
I'm gonna say Spurs, but I will laugh hysterically if
I
Bournemouth
will as
beats
well.
them.
Yeah, for sure. Like that would be the one match that Bournemouth gets. Eh?
Spurs also managerless for this weekend.
Good. Uh, uh, Wolves at the Molyneux against the Brentford Bees, who've had an up and down last few weeks.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Brentford still though.
A big match for Wolves. Definitely need it more. Brentford. Oof. Yeah, I'm going to say Brentford as well. City and Leicester shouldn't be much of a
City.
match. Yeah, City should win, no problem. Speaking of no problems, I'm imagining you think a trip to London Stadium shouldn't be much of a problem for you guys.
Yeah, I would suspect we'll bounce back pretty well and beat West Ham.
I think you guys should be angry and take it out on those bastards.
Yep.
Will David Moyes have a job?
I
We'll
mean,
see.
they've made it this far with him. They might as well stick with him till the end of the season. I
So
don't know
funny.
why he still has a job, but he
Yep.
does.
Yep. The other Sunday game, Forest at home to United.
Man United.
Now, Forest, as you know, does two things. They score out the rush and they win at home. But yeah, I don't see them winning at home against Man U. In the last match of the week, can Leeds surprise Liverpool?
No.
No. I think that's pretty straightforward. Goddamn, do I want to say draw on this, dude? Does the Liverpool that showed up against Chelsea show up? The Liverpool that showed up the second half against Arsenal show up? They're Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, or whatever it is. You never
Yeah.
know. I'm gonna say it's a draw. God damn it, I'm gonna go for it. God damn it.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Okay. Well, that's it. Only ten games. It's like we're
Thank
slacking.
God.
Oh yeah, that's right. Well,
Um,
what do you have going on in the LGR YouTube space, Adelia?
This is coming out on Tuesday, so tonight I will be on Entertainment News Break, checking out all the news from Star Wars Celebration. Lots of interesting stuff came out of Star Wars Celebration, and we'll have Justin and Matt and special guest Brennan Marr hopefully on the show to talk about it all.
Brennan, the champ's here.
That's on the LGRN Entertainment channel. You can find a link to that in the description of this video. And please subscribe to this channel, LGRN The Highlights. We would really appreciate it. We're getting really close to 100 subscribers on the YouTube channel. So it would be nice if we hit that number soon. Snark, what do you have going on?
Well, we have this show every week talking about the English Premier League. We also have another show called Playoff Beards, and it's actually time. It's come time. Well, just about to get into the meat of that show. Stanley Cup playoffs will be starting in a week and a bit. So lots to be decided. God damn it, those Jets don't make it in. I'm going to cry myself to sleep every night for 2 months.
It has been really interesting seeing the playoff pictures solidify. But yeah.
Well, we know we're getting Toronto and Tampa. So, yeah, there's a good chance that Toronto doesn't make it out of the first round again. If they don't, it would be, all this stuff about what's happened with Chelsea and stuff like that would just slowly fade away. And I can sit in the joyful bliss that Toronto cannot make it out of the first round again. Jets need 3 points somehow this week. They got San Jose tonight. They have to play Minnesota and your Colorado Avalanche this week as well. San Jose, the last place team in the league, who we had just got shut out by in San Jose a week and a half ago. So as far as tonight goes, who knows? But we need a win. Calgary plays Nashville in another big matchup tonight. If Nashville wins, it really puts a hamper on Calgary's chances. They only have one game remaining after this. So, play to play for Playoff Beards. We'll be doing hopefully quite a bit of shows with that in the coming months. Like we haven't done enough with this show. We get even more.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you everyone for tuning in this week, and we will be back next week to recap another weekend in the EPL. See you then.